All right, so finally, I'm not the one that needs help.
No,
You're
I
the
need
one.
help.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
So these covalent compounds, they have these funky words in front of them.
Okay, well, those are prefixes.
Okay.
And let's learn a little bit about those. Let's go through with some of these covalent compound examples. So
Okay.
first, let's look at the periodic table. So we've got this here. We want to know what are covalent compounds between?
So covalent compounds are between nonmetals, which are these guys over here,
Right.
plus hydrogen.
So
I know that.
two or more nonmetals. Great. You've got that. Awesome. Well, let's
Okay.
look at the actual list of prefixes so that we can kind of become familiar with that.
Okay, so you mean this list?
Right. That
Okay.
list right there. So we've got, if you have one atom, we call it mono.
Okay.
2 atoms is di, and you can see tri, tetra, penta, all the way up through 10. So all you're going to be doing is you look at the formula, and you see how many atoms you have, and then you say mono, di, tri, and then
That's it?
name it. Yeah. So let's
Okay.
actually do a couple of examples that might actually help you out a little bit. Okay, so let's get your paper out.
Okay.
Awesome.
So what about this one? I've seen this one before.
Okay, CH4. Great. First thing you got to do is identify how many of each you have.
Okay, so 1 carbon and 4 hydrogens.
Okay. Next.
So this would be monocarbon?
Okay. So let's slow down first. First thing we're going to do is name each one. So the very first one, its name is unchanged.
Okay.
So it's carbon.
Okay.
The second one, we add the IDE ending like we did in ionic compounds.
Okay.
So it
So
would be
hydride.
hydride. Okay. So then we're going to see what prefixes we need to add. Now,
Okay.
the prefix for 1 was mono, like you
Mhm.
said, but if it's the very first one listed, you don't have to write mono. You can just leave
Okay.
it off. If it's anything except 1, you have to use the prefix.
So when I'm naming it, I just write carbon.
You just write carbon. Okay? And now
Okay.
you're going to use the prefix for 4. Do you remember what that was?
Tetra. So
Tetra goes in front.
tetrahydride.
Hydride. Exactly.
That's it?
It's just that easy. It's really just how many of them are there, and then let's write the name.
Okay. So what about water, which is H2O?
Okay, water is actually it's colloquial name is H2O is water. So we're actually going to name this by saying first of all how many of each thing we have.
Okay, so I see 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen.
Great, and so hydrogen's name is unchanged.
Okay, so still hydrogen.
Still hydrogen. And remember the second one, oxygen, we have that IDE ending.
The
So you
weird
remember
one.
the weird
oxide.
one, yeah, oxide. Okay, so we're going to add our prefixes now. So how many is 2 hydrogen? What's the prefix for that?
Di.
Di. So we're going to call
So-
that
Dihydrogen,
dihydrogen.
if I can fit it.
Now, what's the prefix for 1?
Mono.
Mono. And we definitely have to use mono on this one because it is the second
Okay,
element.
so it's just monoxide.
Monoxide. Because if we did monoxide and had those 2 O's in the middle next to each other, it would look really weird. So we drop one of the O's and just call it monoxide.
Okay, I think I got it.
Want to do another one?
Sure.
Okay. Just to make sure. How about like
So-
BF3?
Okay, let's do BF3.
Okay. So we know this is covalent. So the name of the first one is unchanged,
Okay,
right?
so same thing, boron, and I only have 1.
You only have 1.
And then I have 3 Fs,
3 Fs.
and this is fluorine.
Fluorine. Remember we got the IDE ending there.
Right. So we changed to fluoride.
The second one always has the IDE ending.
And there's 3 of these.
Right.
So when I write it, just like a tricycle, 3
Right.
would be tri. So trifluoride.
Fantastic. So that's pretty easy there.
Yep, awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we forgot one thing.
Okay, let's go from formula to name.
So what if I have dinitrogen tetrahydride?
Okay, so dinitrogen tetrahydride, that's pretty easy. You just, like you're doing, you're underlining what you got that tells you the number. So
Okay.
di tells you how many?
2.
2, and that's 2 of which one?
Nitrogen. So I have N2.
2 nitrogens, and tetra is how many?
4.
And hydride is which element?
Hydrogen.
So you got 2 nitrogens and 4 hydrogens.
So just N2H4.
Right. It is exceedingly easy to go from name to formula.
Okay, I think that's pretty easy.
Cool. Awesome.